guys, assalamu alaikum. It's Jenna G. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be making for you guys a delicious simple dish, and that's going to be some chana and bhaji, or chickpeas and spinach. So this is one of those easy dishes that, you could just grab some of the chana, canned chana and the dasheen bush or the spinach and just put it together. So sometimes when I'm looking for ideas on what to cook or what to make, I just literally open the fridge, open the pantry cupboard, see what I have and just whip up something. And this chana and bhaji is actually quite delicious. So we'd usually use the dasheen bush to make the bhaji with milk or without the coconut milk. We also add some saltfish in sometimes, and I've made a bhaji rice with chicken in it as well. Vegetarian option though, thought about adding chana to it. So you can actually add any other beans or peas that you have on hand, but I think the chana was making a little more sense, so I chose to use the chana. So let's just jump into the video. We're going to go through the ingredients and you guys are going to see how super simple this dish is to put together. So I'm using the dried chana or the chickpeas that I have already actually boiled or pressure cooked. So I had this soaking overnight and I just put it in the pressure cooker so that it softens up. So if you have the canned chana, you can use that of course, but I just have a lot of this, so decided to use this. This is the dasheen bush that I have already cut up. Actually, I got the ready-made or the already cut dasheen bush that they usually sell in the supermarkets here in Trinidad. So for you guys who are familiar with it, this is the bag it usually comes in, and this amount in here is actually like half of what was in this bag that they usually have in the supermarket. So I measured it out just to give you guys a rough idea, and I think it was like 7 to 8 cups roughly that I'm using for this particular recipe. But of course, you all could vary it depending on whatever you all have to make or how much ever you all have to make. So you can use any amount, more chana if you want, and the dasheen bush, or more dasheen bush than the chana. I'm also going to be using some coconut milk, or coconut powder rather. So to this I'm going to add some of the hot water and we're going to cook in that coconut milk. Got some green seasoning I'm also going to add in. Chopped up onion, garlic, hot pepper, pimento in there. Roasted jeera, yes, we're going to be sprinkling with a little roasted jeera for some extra flavor. And we're just going to be using some salt and black pepper. So this is a pretty simple dish, and it's just something nice that I thought about, when you want to eat like your dal and rice or something, or like even your roti and you just need that veggie option. Why not combine the dasheen bush or the spinach with your chickpeas or your chana? So to start things off, I'm going to be sauteing the onions, the garlic and the hot pepper. Then I'm going to be adding my chopped up dasheen bush leaves and stems. I'm going to be keeping my heat on low. I'm going to give this quick stir, and just in case you need to add just a little water, just in case your pot got a little too hot, that's okay, go right ahead. I'm going to cover this and leave this for a few minutes, and this is what it's going to look like. The dasheen bush is going to get nicely melted or wilted. It's going to make it a lot easier to work with in your pot. So to this, I'm going to be adding my coconut milk. You can add as much coconut milk as you like. So the dasheen bush is also referred to as taro, and I know that not many of you guys will have access to that dasheen bush, but if you don't, you can simply use spinach instead. Now if you're wondering, for those of you who do have access to the dasheen bush and are wondering in terms of cutting it up, it's just simply cutting the leaves and cutting the stems. Now sometimes you can peel the stems if you like, or you don't have to. I've actually never peeled the stems, and I know some people say that it does itch your throat. It's never happened to me before, so I just usually leave the skin on the stems and just cut it up and cook it as usual. But if you do want to peel the stems, by all means go right ahead. I think it's really up to you. I'm going to give this a quick stir, and all I'm going to be doing is just letting this cook until those dasheen bush leaves and stems get tender enough for us to crush. I'm also going to be using my potato masher. You can use that as well, just to get them a little softer, a little faster. So once that's done and it's looking like this, nice and melted or wilted, I'm going to be adding my CHANNA, and my green seasoning goes in there, salt, black pepper to taste, and I'm going to be adding my roasted jeera. So as the channel continues to grow, I'm realizing that I'm getting a lot more non-Trini and non-Caribbean people on my channel viewing my videos, and they aren't sure of some of the ingredients that I've been using in the recipes. And one ingredient that I've been getting a lot of questions on is on that green seasoning. So green seasoning, for those of you guys who are not familiar with it, that's just a combination of fresh herbs that we use here a lot in Trinidad in our foods. It's like one of the most important ingredients whenever we cook in just about anything. So it's basically a combination of the fresh herbs. Main ingredient would be what we call shadow benny or culantro, not to be confused with cilantro. So it's usually culantro with garlic, hot peppers, pimento goes in there, some chives, Spanish thyme, some celery, even some onions. So everybody has his or her own version of making a green seasoning. So it really doesn't have like a fixed recipe, but you will find it. I'll post the link down below so you guys can check it out. Probably need to do an updated video on it though. I add some onions to it now and it's like so delicious. So like I said, it's basically a combination of fresh herbs that we use a lot here in Trinidad in our foods, stews and curries. So a lot of my videos, you guys will be seeing the green seasoning being used. So check out the link to check out how it is that we go about making it. Going to give this a nice stir, and I'm just going to leave this, let this cook between low and medium heat until most of that liquid has been reduced and that dasheen bush leaves and stems are very nice and tender and you can't even see the leaves or the stems anymore. You want to keep stirring it in between just to make sure that it isn't sticking or it isn't burning. And once most of that liquid is gone, this is what it's going to be looking like. Easy, simple CHANNA or chickpeas with BHAJI. Now if you don't have BHAJI or if you don't have access to dasheen bush, that's fine. You can actually use spinach. And this is what the finished product looks like, guys. And you can eat this with just about anything. Of course, my preference would be dal and rice with this CHANNA and BHAJI. And what better way to eat it than using your fingers? So one of those easy dishes, guys. Another vegetarian option for you this time. I don't know if you all probably ever thought about mixing in some CHANNA or chickpeas in your BHAJI. Well, hope you guys got some food inspiration from this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video as always. Thanks as always for watching. I will see you guys in my next video.